Sock Passe.
What's up, world? Welcome to another episode of the Team Sock Passe podcast. My name is Glad.
And I'm your boy, Rob. Remember, we are your favorite Team Sock Passe podcast show where we interview great entrepreneurs from all sectors of industry. Remember, subscribe, share, comment below. Subscribe, y'all. Share, comment below. Glad, what's up, man?
We back.
We are back.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
We're back, and we're back, guys, with an awesome episode for you guys. We're going to talk about this man's journey. We're going to be talking about his story. He has a great story for you guys. His name is Jeff Lindor, founder of the Gentleman's Factory. Jeff.
Oh,
my brother.
Man,
what's going on?
Happy New Year, man.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yes, man. You know, I'm super excited to be on the show, man.
Oh, man, we're finally here.
Yeah. Totally.
No doubt, man. How you been, man? How was your week?
It was good, man. You know, like it's it's the end of January, you know, so it's the first week of February, you know what I mean? So, you know, I feel good, man. You know, like I'm really excited about this new year, and I'm really excited about just changing the world, man.
Wow. Let's jump right into it, man. What's up with Gentleman's Factory? Like, you inspire us.
Thank you.
Talk about it, man. It's over 6 years.
Yeah. So over 6 years, you know, and we really started out as like this collective of how do you like just get Black men to come together and share ideas, because we're just so isolated, right? So it started out as just like gentlemen's brunches and gatherings, etc., into like this massive empire now, where you know we have hundreds of gentlemen just breaking bread and building and investing in each other, and we're just scratching the surface, man.
Wow. Now, the journey for me is what is so exciting to me, because everybody has a journey when you talk about entrepreneurship.
Mm-hmm.
And driving down here in traffic, you know, I had a chance to listen to episode 1 of the Gentleman's Factory, right? You were telling me how the first 18 months was difficult, right? First 18 months was difficult. Talk to us about that journey and how, you know, your wife was such a great supporter, and how you had the friends when that account wasn't bubbling as much, but you had your friends to look to help you out. Talk about that journey and that process.
Yeah, I mean, so you know, entrepreneurship, and what's interesting is today, you know, like I was I had a feature on Forbes today, right?
Congrats.
Congrats.
I got you. We got you right in time.
Okay.
So then on my Instagram stories, you know, like I literally said, hey, like people see all of these articles and people see all of the things that's happening, but they don't really understand where and how this came about, because this is definitely not overnight, right? So to start, you know, my background is in public policy, and you know, I worked in city government, and then September 30th, 2016 was when I resigned, right? I said, I'm out. Like, I really want to dedicate my life into finding innovative solutions that enhances the quality of life of Black people all across Earth, right? And in order for me to do that, I needed some like startup capital to just think, right? I needed think money, you know, because I wasn't an entrepreneur, you know, I never did this before, but I needed space to think and to really kind of develop what is it that I really wanted to do. So I went to a group of close friends and I said, hey, if I run into a financial hardship, would you men and women support me? They said yes.
Wow.
And if I run into an opportunity, would you all support me? They said yes. They all were Haitian too, by the way. Right?
Wow.
So
those are great friends, bro.
Oh, for sure.
We need to connect with those friends.
No, I mean, so then that's how things came about.
Okay.
And then I was able to raise, you know, about $100,000 initially. And, you know, I thought, oh, you know, I have $100,000. This is like, that's all I need. Right. But the first 18 months, mind you, that $100,000 ran out in like 2 months, 3 months. Right. You know what I mean? You know, because I'm still like figuring out what is it that I'm doing.
And you paying bills.
Oh, paying all of these bills. I mean, right. Oh my God. And then I have 2 children, and, you know, like all of these different variables that really helped me to really fully understand what it meant to not have a 9-to-5. And that's when we opened up our first Gentleman's Factory location. You know, it's in Flatbush and Empire. And then we still have that location now too, where, you know, then I had to pay rent for this space, right? And then we didn't have staff, but interns, like all of these different things that we were doing. So I think like, for the first, not even 18 months, for the first 3 years, like it was really just understanding what the model was. Because I also didn't want to really like what Gentleman's Factory's secret sauce is, like intimacy, right? So how do you scale intimacy, right? And then because I say that because our members trust each other, right? They're investing in each other's businesses, etc. All of those things, right? So it's like, if I looked at building Gentleman's Factory, especially in its early stages, as growth, like let me get 1,000 members or like 500,000 members, etc. Yes, it would look good in terms of like financially. Oh my God, right? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I think that our intention is really not like the quantity, but of the quality of the relationships that we're fostering.
Interesting.
Talk to us a little bit more about your support system with your wife during those times.
Yeah, I mean, like she was there, in the very early stages. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, I'm forever grateful for her, right? Because leaving a job, paying well over $100,000 with 2 children, it's like, how do you navigate that, right? Like, how do you,
especially nowadays?
Oh my God, for sure, right? So she and so many others as well, like my parents, right? My children, who were there to, cheering me on. Like I remember just a quick funny story. I remember when we hit the New York Times, right? In I think it was like in 2019. So then my son goes to his school and he's like, oh, my dad is in the newspaper. My dad is in the newspaper. My dad is in the newspaper. The next day, the gym teacher, who's my guy, right? Like the gym teacher is my man's.
Yep.
He pulls me to the side. He was like, yo, man, dad, you good? You good? Yo, man, I heard they using the papers, bro. You good? Right?
Okay.
I was like, yo, wait.
Yeah. Like, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah. I'm good. Wait, I was in the papers for good stuff.
Right, not the bad stuff.
Yeah. Gotcha.
But like just seeing my children just celebrate me and just really, encourages me to really keep pushing on.
Okay, cool. So let's take a step back a little bit. So you said you resigned from your position, making well over $100,000 or whatever. So talk about the vision prior to that while working. Like where did you come up with the name, and how did you come up with the name, and what was your mindset at that time?
You're smiling.
And
to add to that, I remember in listening to episode 1, you were selling like lapel pins.
You
were trying to figure it out. Definitely dive into that for us.
Yeah. So what was so interesting? So I first developed the concept when I was in graduate school, right? So I took a social entrepreneurship class where I was just dibbling and dabbling on how to start a enterprise based upon what my passions were. And at that time, I was really passionate about, still am really passionate about community. And then also really passionate about fashion, right? So the original name was Groomed Success, right? And Groomed Success was where we would do all of these events, and then the logo had a bow tie on it and all that stuff, right? So it was really fashion forward. So quite frankly, the name Gentleman's Factory, or even the idea, came about is because we would host all of these different Groomed Success events. And there was this one event that we did. It was at the Carlton Hotel on 88th and Madison. I don't even know if that hotel is still there now, right? But we had hundreds of guys there, and then we rented out. So we sold like booths, for like, folks to like vendors, like who were just selling accessories, ties, bow ties, accessories, and all of that. And at the end of the night, I asked all of the vendors, I was like, oh, like how much money did you guys make collectively? So collectively, I think they made like $10,000 that night. So then I said, wait, right? Like all of these guys like together collectively made $10,000. So I was like, yo, listen, man, like the next event, I'm going to have my own, product line so that I can have these folks, purchase from there.
Nice.
So then, a couple of months later, I had a really nice rooftop event. It was in downtown Brooklyn, ironically. And I then, created my own brand, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the way that I came up with the name, I was saying, okay, so gentleman shop. Gentlemen, and I was on GoDaddy just looking at all of the different URLs.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually I was like, everything gentleman, I tried to think to pair it, but everything was taken.
Mm-hmm.
So then I said Gentleman's Factory, and then it said it was available. I was like, oh,
that's it.
That's it.
Yeah,
Bingo.
that's it.
You got
That's
it.
Yeah. So
Okay,
Gentleman's
cool.
Factory literally was an accessories brand where, and I'll be frank, like I went, and I'm not a fashion designer. So I was getting the stuff from Alibaba, right?
Wow.
and then just like rebranding it and just putting a stitch to put the Gentleman's Factory logo on it, right? You know what I mean? So that's literally how Gentleman's Factory, the name came about. And I say that to say that when someone has an idea, right? Like, you know, just start, right? And as you develop and really have a stronger conviction of the problem is that you're trying to solve, then like it's going to continue to evolve and then it's going to shape to where God wants it to be.
Mm-hmm.
So Gentleman's Factory started out as a product line and it was trademarked under product accessories, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like a massive global empire, right? You know what I mean? 6 to 7 years later, you know what I mean?
Beautiful.
So
Nice.
I always tell entrepreneurs, the first thing that you got to do is just start.
And
That's the
here we
hardest
are now.
part.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part.
And,
for a lot
and
of
so now
people.
fast forward, how many members are there now for Gentleman's Factory?
Yeah, I mean, so like several hundred, right? So we're really intentional about not growing so quickly, right? Because we could have thousands now, right? But every member goes through an interview process, right? And when I say interview, it's not a rigorous type of, experience. It's them interviewing us too, right? Like getting a better understanding of what we are, what we do, what are our core values, what are we looking to do, and where is it that we're going, right? Because it's just really important that people are aligned with who we are, and then also so that we can get a better understanding of how we can help you. Now, like we are doing a massive campaign where there's going to be different tiers of membership now, right? Because we are opening up a lot more physical locations throughout New York City and beyond, right?
Okay.
For which that one is really a more, I'd say, exclusive experience, right? Because all of our physical locations are called labs, right? So we have 2 locations now. So we have the Creative Lab, which is a really nice duplex loft, and that was our original location too, right?
Okay.
And then we have the Innovation Lab in downtown Brooklyn, where it's like that community co-working community space, etc., where we focus deeply on technology, etc. Now we're opening up later this year a social lab where it's a bar and lounge, and then we're going to open up a creative lab, like another creative lab in Harlem. So like every physical location that we have is going to be based upon what the needs of the community are. And then that one is where members are going to need to get interviewed so that we can, ensure that we're servicing them right way. And then so that we understand what is it that they're looking for. Now we have another tier of membership called the community membership, where that one we're partnering with Black-owned establishments throughout New York City. And then we're going to be having events and activations and programming there, right? And we have, and then that's happening now where, like we have so many different experiences in Black-owned establishments where members can go and sit down and, go to a restaurant, right? Or, a art gallery, or, we even every Monday we're at Brooklyn Sky Dome in Bed-Stuy where we're playing basketball together, right? You know what I'm saying? So
that's where you guys play.
Yeah. Yeah, Sky Dome. Yeah. Totally,
Okay.
right?
All right, cool.
You have to pull up, man.
Yeah.
So it's really the gathering of gentlemen, right? And then really coming together. And obviously, like, we have a lot of events where women come and support us, etc. And then as we support them as well, right? So it's this massive ecosystem.
This sounds like Harlem Renaissance. This sounds like Black Wall Street. This, you know what I'm saying? The vibe, and I love it. I love it. So it seems that you're building the community to not only build programs, but to also network creatively and for different aspects, right? Technology and stuff like that. Do you guys work as far as political aspect as well?
Yeah, I mean, so my background is in politics, right? So we, We have a number of members who are elected officials,
Good.
right?
Okay.
And we have a fireside chat every Tuesday where we're always bringing in thought leaders to come in and talk about what is it that they're working on. So we recently had Tremaine Wright, who oversees cannabis licenses across the state of New York. And then she was a former assemblywoman that represented Bed-Stuy. We have the Manhattan District Attorney, Albert Brad, who's going to be coming in a couple of weeks, right?
Nice.
And then we're going to be talking about what's going on in like the criminal justice, etc. We've had commissioners, of different city agencies. We've held mayoral fundraisers, and with our last in the last mayoral election, we did a really big rooftop mixer with all of the candidates that were running for mayor, public advocate, comptroller, etc.
Wow, interesting.
And we had like over maybe I'd say like 600 people there. And then we had all of the candidates there too, right?
Nice.
So yeah, I mean, so like we're deeply involved in politics, etc. Right. And then one of my so I have a really great working relationship with the current mayor, who's amazing, and then we've done some work with him when he was Brooklyn Borough president. And a mentor of mine is Ray McGuire, and who's a Wall Street legend, and he also ran for mayor, etc. So we're really friendly with a lot of the candidates, etc. And then we're very civically engaged.
Okay. So you talk about membership. I want to kind of tap into that. Is when you're talking about membership, the interview process.
Yeah.
So walk us through a typical interview.
Yeah.
So I'm online. I go in. I want to become a member.
Mm-hmm.
Walk us through that step. How do you reach out to me? And
yeah, no, sure. I mean, so it's just someone just goes online, go on our website, gentleman'sfactory.com, and then they fill out a questionnaire, right?
Okay.
And then afterwards, they'll just schedule a in-person meet and greet with a member of the membership committee. And then one of the questions, and then they'll come in, right? Like it's in person. And then one of the questions that we ask is, if fear and money were no obstacle for you, what would you be doing now? Right? So, great question. And then that's what we want to help you with. Right.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And then those are the things that we're most interested in. Because like, here's the thing, right? I think anytime that someone joins an organization, etc., they also have to be the one to participate
Absolutely.
in the things, right?
Absolutely.
So like last year, we had, a billionaire come to speak to us, right? etc. And then we've, we personally, as an organization, do small angel investments. I say small, right? So please, no one DM me, right?
Can you say the billionaire's name?
No.
But, just asking.
Hey,
right?
You got to be in the room, guys. Y'all got to be in the room.
Yeah, you got to be in the room. You got to be in the rooms, right? So now it's like, if you're in these rooms, it's up to you now to ensure that you're navigating it effectively. Obviously, we have we have a number of different workshops and but if you don't participate, then there's nothing that we can really do, because like we're a platform that wants to place you in the right positions for you to win, but you got to know what you're winning for, what you're pointing towards, right? So those are the things that we have a discussion about. In the Gentleman's Factory, we're not perfect. Like, we're figuring it out, just like how Apple and Google and everyone is figuring it out, right? You know what I'm saying? So with that, our main intention is just to ensure that we're creating an ecosystem where we're facilitating reciprocity, and that everyone doesn't feel alone, right? And everyone is just now looking to help each other out. And like, we have a strong emphasis on business, but then we have a strong emphasis on health and mental health and community, etc. So like, we're constantly developing this comprehensive approach. And then I think last thing that I'll say on this is that one of the differentiating factors with us that we're blessed to have is, we have like full-time staff that's dedicated to this work, right? So it's like, they work tirelessly to ensure that members are communicating, members are, different events and programming, etc. So like we have a dedicated full-time team that, is dedicated to just ensure that we get better.
Absolutely. A follow-up question with that, back to your episode 1. And I'm paraphrasing, but you were telling an amazing story of how when you were in need of help, there was a friend who helped you out to help you with the funds, and he gave you, I think it was he helped you with $8,000.
Yeah.
And he was going to his car and he looked you right in your eye and he said, you need to have a different relationship with money. I'm paraphrasing, right? A different relationship with money.
Yeah.
And you've got to find people, and I'm paraphrasing, and I guess I'm trying to relate that to the membership, that the people who come on to become members, that they have to have, because we're not going to know who the billionaire is until you're in the room. So you got to have a different relationship with your money, right?
Yeah,
sure. Can you talk about that as far as having a relationship with money that, we want the best of the best to be part of the Gentleman's Factory?
What's so interesting was that the gentleman who gave the $8,000 is calling me right now. Right? You know what I'm saying?
No,
see that?
Right now.
Wow. Should have just.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm here with Robin Glad.
And you wouldn't believe what they're talking about right now.
Hey, pull up.
No, so so like he was saying how the reason why he was able to give $8,000, it was because it's within his capacity to do so, right?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And so then he charged me and he said, Jeff, what I need you to do is to increase the capacity of the community, increase the financial capacity, increase the intellectual capacity, continue to further, because, he was able to invest the $8,000, when I really needed it with not even thinking about it, is because that was in his capacity. Right. So I think that, that's really what we, are charged to do, is like, how do we increase the capacity of our community? How do we build the capacity? Because I believe that everyone in them has the ability to do really great things, but, it's like, how are they fostering that talent? And also, how are they surrounding themselves with other people who may help them along the way?
Absolutely.
With me, I said initially when I resigned from my career in public policy, I needed money to think, right? And that's really powerful, because it's like, wow, like Dave Chappelle said something one time, I forget, probably like in a stand-up or so, where he said that he has the ability to do something that a lot of Black men can't do because they don't have the time or the money to do it. And he says he has the ability to think, right?
That's powerful, man.
That's so deep, because it's like, many of us are focusing so much on the urgent that we don't have the time or the ability to focus on what's important, right? Because the urgent is, I need this right now because I need to pay my rent, or I need to do this, or I need to do that. But if you do that for 20 years, you didn't go anywhere, because you just stayed stagnant, because you're just focusing on what's in front of you. But if you have the ability to look beyond the urgent and think about things that are important, then you're able to take things to the next level. So what's important is, taking your community out of poverty, right? But how are you going to do that when you got to pay your rent, right? You know what I'm saying? Or how are you going to do that when, all of these pressing things are in front of you? So with what we do at Gentleman's Factory is that we look to help position our communities to that next level, right? So that's why that interview process is really important, is because we want to know what is it that you need? Who do you need to be connected to, right? You know what I mean? Like, how can Gentleman's Factory use our relationships to get that person in the room? I even told the member, we had like a members meeting, and I'm gonna say this publicly too, right? So I hope I don't get in trouble. For this. But I was like, listen, right? If you need to, and I told the guys, I was like, hey, who do you need, or like who are you stalking on LinkedIn that's just curving you all the time, right? You see what I'm saying, right? And then they gave us names. Then I'm like, all right, cool. So then I told the staff, the amazing team that I have, invite these folks to Gentleman's Factory for a panel, right? You know what I mean? Have them speak on a panel. Let's create an event around some of these folks that the members are trying to get. And then while they're there, I'll moderate the panel, right? And then I'll ask them, hey, so how do we get in contact with you, right? You know? And then all of these guys right here has been trying to get. So that's an example of us leveraging the, relationships that we have, and then also the platforms that we have, right? So that's the power. That's one of the superpowers that we have.
Right. I was just going to ask that success stories, and you just gave it to us.
I mean, that's the power of the community.
Exactly.
So I'm going to go into a little deeper now. So we're all of Haitian descent.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And speaking to my parents about podcasts, they have no idea. They're like, what the hell are you talking about? So how was it? This is a 2-part question. How was it sitting down with your parents and telling them, I'm going to quit? Yo, listen, this is interesting. And it's not even just Haitian parents, it's just parents in general. I'm just thinking about my daughters coming to me and saying, Dad, I'm making $150,000 a year, but I want to quit because I want to start this. I have this vision. I want to start something. My question is, do you have capital? No. So they're going to say no. So where did that energy come from? And it's like,
what did they say?
What did they say?
Zayoju.
Yeah, like sac passe.
Yo, till this day, my parents is like, "Mwen pa konen ki sa Jeff fait, mais mwen wèli na télévision."
And they were at the event.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? They was at the event, and then I had them stand up.
Parents,
you know,
I love that.
So they are very, very, very proud of me. They read every article, they read every news clip, they come to the space, but they still don't know what I do. They always say, dis-moi ça ou fait, parce que les moun a parlé avec moi, moi pas cap tellement expliquer ça ou fait.
What's the character dude from Martin? What was it?
Tommy.
Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? For sure, right? I mean, so it, one thing though that I can say about my parents though is that they know though that I'm a serious person, right? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So now they're like, yo, listen, if this, if their son leaves his full-time job and he has a family. And they know that some next year, then they're like, okay, like he's up to something. But best believe my mother has been praying for me every single day till this day. You know what I'm saying? Like you cannot reach her at 10 p.m. Right? You know,
she's praying.
Yo, parce que la gêne devant mon Dieu.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Right? Seriously. Right? So with that. They support me so much. Beautiful. And I love them so much. Beautiful. I mean, anytime that I have something or a major event or major, or anytime that my parents, they don't live in Brooklyn, but anytime that they're in Brooklyn, they come upstairs to either of the Gentleman's Factories, and like it is a little bit awkward sometimes, right? Because I'm like, Mommy, what are you doing here? She was like, ma prière. You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
ma prière.
Okay. You know what I'm saying?
Not right now.
Right now.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, so like they like I love them so much, and then they always have my back.
That's what's up, man. Like, and I had another question.
Yeah.
Why men only?
Really great question. So when I resigned from my career, I said that I wanted to dedicate my life to finding innovative solutions that enhances the quality of life of Black people all across Earth. So Gentleman's Factory is, I would say, about 5% of the full entire vision, right? And we now are being consulted by Boston Consulting Group to help us develop a master strategy on really addressing like disparities in Black communities in a cool, innovative way all across. So I say that the fact that we are, looking to see how we can create a women's arm to what we're doing. But now I'm a researcher, right? I mean, I have a master's in urban policy analysis and management, right? So that's like a weird kind of way that I'm like a researcher in a sense, right? So where we are right now is I'm meeting with so many different women organizations, so many different Black women stakeholders, and really just understanding what do women need, right? You know, and how do we put resources behind it? And, you know, we are raising capital too, right? So we're doing an official fundraise, you know, with different investors, private equity, family offices, venture, et cetera, to really create like the central platform for Black advancement. So that is, you know, having a women's division, right? You know, then the way that we're probably looking at it is like acquiring different women-led companies and really putting it under umbrella so that we give them the resources so that they can be, you know, so that they can scale, right? But it's still kind of early in that stage, right? So saying that to say that we have a parent company, and then Gentleman's Factory is a company under it, and then we have another arm called the Skill Factory, which is a workforce development platform that we train thousands of New Yorkers across, you know, the city, and placing them into jobs in entrepreneurship, boot camps, etc. And then the women's division, we'll probably call it the Ladies Factory. We don't know, right? You know, but I'm not gonna call something a woman's name where I don't know what women need. So I say Women's Factory, Ladies Factory, and then women be like, nah, that's whack, right? You know what I'm saying?
Right,
So I let women lead, you know, because I don't, you know, like, who am I to say women, hey, this is what I think you need, right?
Right.
So like we're really, you know, doing that really carefully. And then my role is really just to get the resources so that, you know, we place women in positions to win.
Awesome. So you mentioned earlier about fundraising, and we went to the first Gentleman Factories event a few months back, and Black Tie Affair.
Yes.
Amazing event.
Yeah.
beautiful people.
Yeah.
Money was in the room.
Yeah.
Was it not, Rob?
Yeah, definitely.
Money was in the room.
You can smell it. You can smell it.
I mean, money was in the room, and
definitely,
just when you go to a Gentleman Factory event, you realize, you know, the power. It was palpitating in there. You know, the energy. People look great. It was a lot of great energy. So congratulations to you.
Thank you, man.
Yes.
And so we spoke a little bit about it before the mics got hot. We spoke about you know, you were helping I guess bring more attention and finances to for not-for-profit organizations.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about that for the audience?
Yeah, right. So we host this annual Pay It Forward gala, right, where we select members at Gentleman's Factory who have nonprofit organizations that are doing phenomenal work. And we have a really nice Black Tie Affair. And then our last one that you alluded to was in Dumbo. You know, we had over 250 people in the room, all of the movers and shakers, etc. And then that night, you know, and it's like invite only, so like folks can't, you know, buy a ticket or anything like that. There was even no cost to it, and it was, shout out to TD Bank for, you know, sponsoring this, right? So with that, the intention was to raise money for the organizations that are doing phenomenal work. So that night, like, we raised thousands of dollars for these 4 nonprofits, and then Gentleman's Factory didn't touch that money at all, right? So when someone donated that evening, it went straight to those organizations, right? And then we're going to do that more aggressively this year, you know. So I'm working with the team and a number of consultants to really take it to the next level. And then our goal this year is to raise, you know, perhaps maybe $100,000 so that we could just give it straight to those nonprofits. Our main thing is, like, you know, Gentleman's Factory is a platform, right? You know, and then how do we use the relationships and the equity that we have to just place our communities to the next level? I mean, you know, so whatever resources that they need, we want to help facilitate that. And it was cool to dress up, you know.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, it was perfect timing.
Yeah.
Holiday season. It was
exactly. Yeah, you know what I mean.
End of the year.
Yeah, for sure. So that was definitely an exciting time.
Are there any partnerships or things that you're working on this year that you could discuss?
Yeah, I mean, so, you know, we're like expanding our real estate portfolio, right? So the way that we do real estate deals is that we go to the members first, right? So we are buying a building this year. It's public information. Where shout out to True Fund, which is a CDFI. You know, where, you know, if anyone is looking, if anyone is if you're a business and then you're looking to buy a building and you want to be an owner occupier, check out True Fund. So it's TRU Fund, right? So take out the E. So that's one of our partners, etc. So we are looking to buy a building. And the way that we raise the initial capital is through the member community, right? So we're like, hey, who wants to invest into this property with us? So, Gentleman's Factory is a group economic platform as well, right? Because we'll own a series of buildings across the city, and we own it with the community. So like that's something that we're working on. And then also, with the Skill Factory, which is the workforce development platform, contracted with the city of New York to help employ, thousands of New Yorkers in communities with high levels of gun violence, right? So we're working on that. And then we're, expanding our partnerships with Black-owned establishments across the city, right? So, if you're an art gallery and if you want us to do a Gentleman's Factory event there where we have our members and their friends and their spouses, et cetera, come, please, because our main thing is how do we really, circulate the Black dollar, right?
Ooh, great segue.
Yeah.
That's one of the curses Gentleman's Factory is trying to eliminate, because they say, what is it, the dollar lasts in the community for what, a day, seconds, or whatever, whatever it is, 48 hours, and other communities is days and weeks.
For sure.
And so your organization is trying to kill that curse.
For sure.
You guys are owning buildings and doing these kind of things, and that's awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah, because like we see that as being really important, right? So it's like, how do we ensure that we get the right folks in the room? Like, for example, with the Pay It Forward Gala, we raised thousands of dollars that night, right? It was mainly because we had the right folks in the room, right? Yeah. But now it's like, that's why I got to credit my team, who's phenomenal, because we have our ears to the ground, right? So what do the community need? What do our members need? We're constantly surveying focus groups, etc. We're not perfect. We're figuring it out, but we're getting better every single day. So as we get a better understanding of what the needs of the community are, we ensure that we create platforms and create experiences and programming and initiatives to help push the community forward, right? So, and group economics is one of the main pillars, right? Because folks got money, right? Folks got money, but they just don't necessarily, we don't trust each other as much. Hence why, if we're playing basketball every Monday, you're now playing basketball with a manager, MD at JP Morgan, right? And then the MD at JP Morgan is playing basketball with the entrepreneur, and then with the college student, and with the law student, and then the guy who went to Stanford Business School, and the guy that went to community college. Myself, I graduated from Kingsborough Community College, right? You know what I'm saying? So it's like having all of these different individuals who are coming together in shared experiences, basketball, yacht parties, etc., while also then saying, hey, we got a real estate deal here, guys. Or, hey, Gentleman's Factory is, investing, $10,000 into the Eat Okra app. Everyone download Eat Okra, right? Really cool restaurant directory app, right? But so Gentleman's Factory put in $10,000 to Eat Okra. Now, who wants to match, right? You know what I'm saying? So it's creating those experiences. But the way that we're able to have those types of conversation is because we see each other all the time, right? So that's where I was saying how the scale intimacy lens is really important, because if I would have just have 50,000 members in a span of 6 months, nobody knows each other, right? You see what I'm saying? Right? So it'll be cool numerically, but where's the sustainability in that? Because after a while, it's like, you know what I'm saying? So like, that's where we're really critical. Like, so the way that we look at it is, yes, like we want to have a big numeric number to say that we're large, etc. But I think that it's more so on the intention that we have to just ensure that we're able to service our member population effectively. Because if we have 500, gentlemen that, are accredited investors, and that could, invest in your company or in your company, and then Gentleman's Factory collectively could raise $1 million to, start a fund. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
so that's where like I see where the power is.
Keep it authentic.
Yeah,
Wow.
for sure.
That's awesome, man.
Rob, we looking crazy right now because we're not members of the Gentleman's Factory, so we got to figure this out.
Yeah, we definitely
we got to figure this out, Rob.
That's been on my mind.
We got to make it happen.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I love it. I mean, we talk about this all the time. Like him and I, we talk about community.
Yep.
And especially in our culture, man.
Yeah.
Like there are not a lot of community-based structures, businesses, I should say, that focus on pushing, changing the agenda.
Yeah.
Changing, the quote unquote black men or just whatever. So we talk about it all the time, and there's so many challenges in our culture that we're like, okay, step one, like you said, I need money to think.
Yeah.
Because it deletes a lot of the issues, because if we're in a business where it's like, for example, when we started out with Sac Passe, it was more like, okay, we're starting out this clothing brand. It's great. We're pushing the brand. We're going back to our 9 to 5 because we have to make money for the brand.
Yeah.
So now we got to take money from, here and there to kind of negotiate to get a dozen T-shirts made. And so all of that is just, it's a process, and I definitely applaud what you guys are doing and what you said about you need money to think. It makes a lot of sense because that eliminates literally 50% or more of the actual issue of starting a vision.
Absolutely.
So like, what are some of the challenges that Gentleman Factory faces, like, let's say now, or
Yeah, I mean, so like we're in the human business, right? So we're constantly evolving, right? So our main thing, and then COVID taught us that really well too. So in COVID, we have physical locations, right? So it's like, wait, so physical locations, and now, it's social distancing and everything shut down.
Mm-hmm.
So does the business shut down? Then I had to say, our core or our purpose is community and how to bring people together so that we can disrupt the status quo in the overall, patterns of the Black experience, right? So that's the vision and mission. How we do that needs to constantly be reevaluated, right? So if there's a global pandemic, then, hey, we now need to do Zoom, right? Or we need to, have a more robust app, right?
Yeah.
And then, hey, the pandemic is over, let's go back to physical. Or we say physical and digital, right? So all of those things we need to constantly, reevaluate, because those things constantly change as society change. But the overall vision and mission always stays the same. So I think that to answer your question in terms of what are the challenges, it's the best practices, right? You know what I'm saying? And then that is, I think, in every organization, right? Because what you did last year may not work this year, right? And what you did this year may not work next year, right? So we constantly need to, have boots on the ground. And then, we're always hiring, and then we're actually, hiring, so there's a number of positions opening now. I mean, and you could go on our website and you can see, so that's our main thing, right? So it's like, how do we get better, faster, and smarter, right? Constantly.
Beautiful. Can you talk about the different, you said you were opening up different tiers now for membership. Can you talk about that and pricing, if anything?
Yeah, right. So like we're working with Boston Consulting Group now and just on how to formulate everything. But what I would say though, within the next couple of, within like 2 weeks or so, we'll have like the rollout on the website where you can see exactly what those tiers are. And it's really cool because with the community membership, anywhere that you live within like the New York tri-state area, we'll have different activations there. So we want to know, where are the Black-owned establishments in Long Island? Where are the Black-owned establishments in Queens, in, different parts of Jersey, et cetera? Because our main thing is, how do we have different events and activities there, so that, one, members are spending their dollars in these establishments. Two, because we have good relationships with different press and different other organizations, different media outlets, etc., let's host some events there so that, yes, like we have our physical locations, but like, just going back to what I was saying about, not being stuck in, how you do things. Our main thing is, our goal is community, bring folks together, right? How we do that, we could do that
so
in so many different ways.
Right.
So like in that form of membership, we're looking to really expand that. And then that one isn't even a robust interview process either, right? So it is an application online because we want to really get a better understanding of who you are and why you want to be a part of this. And then we'll still have a member committee to review the applications, but they don't have to come in and things like that, right?
Okay.
So yeah, like, and then that's like a different tier as well, right? So we're really excited about this year. Last year, based upon our data that we've collected, like, think about like over $10 million was $10 million of business activity was exchanged throughout Gentleman's Factory last year.
Wow.
But then that's what we were able to, collect in terms of data. Oh, well, that's what folks shared.
Okay.
But I'm sure that there was a whole lot more.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But yeah, I mean, so like those are just things that we're really excited about. And then, this year we're going to take it to a whole nother level.
Wow.
Very nice. Gentleman's Factory already sells itself, but just a random question. Are there any celebrities that you can mention that are part of Gentleman's Factory? Or
for sure. I mean, so there's a lot of really cool names. I don't like to say too much about who's
you're going to have to join.
Yeah, right? You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to join. But
much.
I mean, like, there are, some celebrities, some actors, some entertainers, and then one thing though that I would say that I'm really proud of is the fact that we're not like a who's who kind of entity, whereas there is a really well-known celebrity who texted me this morning. I kid you not, and I'll show it to you afterwards, right?
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Just so that they'll verify that I'm not
No
lying.
doubt.
And he is a great brother, and like, he was asking us on, hey, like, can we help him with the business proposal that he's working on, right?
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And then we're meeting tomorrow at Gentleman's Factory, me and the team, to like help review, some of his business strategies, etc. Right?
Okay.
So he didn't come in as, oh, I am this person. It's like, nah, yo, like, I need help with this joint, right? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Whereas now, going back to the fact that we have, guys who are, very well known, and then guys who went to the most prestigious universities, the MITs, the Stanfords, the Harvards, etc. And me, the founder, who graduated from Kingsborough Community College, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I have a really sensitive, like, I'm extremely sensitive towards that, because I never want to be like this space where it's like, oh, like you need to make this about it, this about it, this amount, because we have that, right? I mean, and then I'm no slouch. I mean, prior to Gentleman's Factory, I was doing pretty well, right? I got a master's and I had all that stuff, but I'm like, nah, like, how do we now create a factory? Whereas wherever it is that you are in life, and that's why with the interview process, it wasn't like, oh, what school you went to or how much money you have, whatever. No, it was like, where are you trying to go?
It's the
right?
mindset.
What is the mindset?
Right.
Mindset over everything, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What is the mindset?
Yeah.
And then based upon that, we grow from there, right? But, but like, we do have some dope people there, though, right?
And that's a beautiful thing, that you have a celebrity who's seeking help and they're going to the Gentleman's Factory for that. That's community building at its best.
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%,
I agree. So it's 2023, in 7 years, 2030. Where do you see Gentleman's Factory?
I see Gentleman's Factory in 7 years as the largest social and economic institution for Black men on earth.
Wow.
Wow. That's beautiful.
That's powerful.
Yep.
And it will happen.
Yeah.
It's already here.
It's already it's gonna happen.
I mean, you manifest that, it's already here. Wow.
For sure, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's I definitely I have to go back home, and I know I'm gonna call this guy and be like, bro.
Yeah, we need to have a meeting with Jeff. We need to get our applications in, and you know have our interview.
No,
yeah. I'm just thinking about the interview. Like,
no,
my hands are all
sweaty. You got
Suit and ties,
because, you know, and it's so crazy. Yeah, I know, right? you know, it's so crazy how Jeff and I met at an event through a mutual friend, Joanne.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'm standing at the table by myself, right? I'm waiting on you, right? And I'm just setting up. I'm thinking about, okay, I'm looking at all the vendors coming in, and this is our first time really at the space at Brooklyn Commons. Shout out to Brooklyn Commons, man.
Shout out.
And we're just sitting there, and I'm sitting there, and I'm just like, I know this guy. I know he's affiliated with Gentleman's Factory. I've seen I mean, obviously with social media and everything, people talk about him, but I've never kind of like, I was like, oh man, it's not the right time because I'm focused. And humble enough, Jeff comes over and he was like, "Suck by say guy, right?"
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like, you know me. I was like, bro. I said, oh, wow. Made my day, bro. I wanted to call him up. Hey, yo, bro.
That's beautiful.
This dude, Jeff from Gentleman's Factory, he knows us, bro.
Because we reached out to him too on social media, and they said, reach out to Jeff, hit him up on his personal, but it just never happened. The way it happened was beautiful.
Good,
it was beautiful,
perfect,
man.
perfect.
And I applaud you, man, because I see the vision.
No, thank you, man.
And it's where, beside all of the, the sac passe hype and what you've seen in the past and all of that, like this is where it is.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
This is where it starts. And it's not just for the culture, for like Haitian culture. Yes, we need it.
Yeah.
We strongly need it.
Yep.
But as Black men as well, like born in Brooklyn, raised in Brooklyn, or in New York, the challenges that we face every day, going out into the, into the world, and just having a home.
Yep.
That's a beautiful thing
that
you've created, man. And I see great things for you guys. I'm just sending the great energy out there.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Likewise, brother.
No,
likewise.
Thank you.
So, are you ready for the surprise question?
Yes.
Okay.
Get ready for the surprise question.
So this is our ritual. We had to.
Jesus Christ.
So this is so. Oh,
we got to get a new thing, by the way.
Yeah. But full disclosure, though, you are our first guest for the year, for the top of the year, and at the new
our new space.
Okay, nice. Okay,
history is made.
No pressure.
Joel is like, yeah, all right. Let's hurry up,
get
man.
Joel a mic too sometimes.
Yeah. We gotta work on that.
Yeah, we gotta work on that.
So you're just gonna pick.
Okay.
A question.
Oof. Okay.
And then you'll read it to us, and
all right. Okay.
Whatever answer comes to your mind.
Okay, so it says, which celebrity would you like to meet? Oh, that's a good question. A celebrity who I would like to meet is, I'm gonna preface this by saying that if I had $500,000 or to meet him, I would still pick the $500,000, right? Okay. You know what I'm saying? But I would love to meet Jay-Z, right? You know what I mean? And just break bread with him, because I'm a huge Jay-Z guy.
Yep.
I'm a huge Jay-Z guy because I see Jay-Z in his catalog as like the growth span of a man, right? You know what I'm saying? So from Reasonable Doubt to The Streets to then you get a little money, and then you say Big Pimpin', right? You know what I'm saying? To then, start dating a woman in Bonnie and Clyde, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
To then now, doing American Gangsta in the Black Album, to just just venturing out, right? And then just being the being the president of Def Jam to then getting married to Beyonce. I mean, like I probably skipped some things. Right. To then now getting slapped in the elevator, right? Right. The embarrassment, right? To then cheating on your wife, right? To then reconciling, right? To then now putting out 444, the Black Album. I mean, 444. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so 4044, so, and then having the God did, right? You know what I'm saying? So and then there's so many things that I missed in the Jay-Z gap, right? But I'm saying that to say that, like, just his, I see a lot of similarities in myself in Jay-Z, but then also just like the Black male experience. And now he's like 52 and still killing it, right? You know what I mean? Right. So,
So you would the 500,000 or Jay-Z?
Oh no, definitely the 500,000. You know what I'm saying? I was just like,
because Jeff knows how to flip it.
No,
but that's the thing though. Like you have to,
you got to know how to flip it.
Yeah. Because I mean, it goes. I can see how it goes both ways. It's like sitting with Jay-Z and you're like, okay, I want to pick your brain, but how much of picking? It's.
Jay-Z got a lot of free stuff on YouTube.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Jay-Z,
I like YouTube University.
Yeah. Jay-Z,
100%.
That $500K. Especially if you in that mindset of, how you get me a quick brown
buildings, bro.
Yeah.
He knows how to flip.
Exactly.
He knows how to flip.
Exactly. Jay-Z, like, Jay, I'm gonna check. I'll check you out in Marcy somewhere.
Man.
That's cool.
Jeff, thanks again for doing this, man.
No, thank you so much for having me.
Appreciate it, man.
This means a lot to us. Keep doing it, man. And we're gonna be a part of Gentleman's Factory. We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna be a part of it. Awesome. We want to grow, and we're gonna be seeing the next 7 years of what you said, and we know it's gonna come to fruition for sure, man.
Thank you.
For sure, man. Any last words? Give us a ball. Any last words
to that entrepreneur that want to start?
To the entrepreneur who's trying to
struggling
get started
right now.
Yeah.
What I would say is in the entrepreneurial journey, that you can't have bad days. You can just only have bad moments, right? Because if you allow for that moment to disrupt you or disrupt your day, then you lost, right? You see what I'm saying? So you got to be able to compartmentalize your stressors and to focus on the prize. But in order to do that, though, going back to what I was saying earlier, you got to focus not only on the urgent, but you got to focus on what's the important. So the way that I do it is that in one eye, I look at the future. In the next eye, I look at the next step, right? And then you got to do that simultaneously. Because if you're only looking at the future, then what about today? But if you're only looking about today, then what about the future, right? So the last bar that I would say is like, don't confuse movement with progress.
Bars. Well said, my brother.
Oof, I think
chills.
Nah,
man. Straight bars.
We're definitely going through that. We gotta change that whole
100%.
I know,
100%.
I need a full therapy session.
Rob, housekeeping items.
Housekeeping items. Thank you to our sponsors.
Yes.
Our sponsors, we really appreciate you. Happy New Year to everyone, all our subscribers. Thank you. Our subscribers has been, it's
bubbling.
It's bubbling. It's very good.
Hit that subscribe button.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Subscribe down here. Thank you, Roots of Brooklyn.
We got to talk to you about that, Roots of Brooklyn.
Please. Yep. Thank you so much about that. Thank you so much. And also
Tenwa TV.
Tenwa TV. And also we are definitely looking forward to becoming Gentleman's Factory members.
Yep. Absolutely. And definitely check out the website.
Check out, your social media.
My personal one is Mr. Community NYC. So that's MR Community NYC. And follow Gentleman's Factory on Instagram and all other platforms. And that's Gentlemen. And that's MENS. So gentlemen's .factory GF on Instagram.
That's what's up. Cool. And be sure to check us out on social media as well. Team Sock Passe on YouTube, and our website, teamsockpasse.com.
Yes.
We did it, Rob.
We did it.
We're back.
Thanks
again, Jeff.
No, thank you for having me.
Team Sock Passe.
Yes, Team Sock Passe.
We out.
We out.
Let's do it.
All right.